Welcome to Super Easy Physics and Mathematics, SEPAM. This is the detailed step-by-step explanation of the solution of IGCSE Physics Paper 2 Multiple Choice Extended February-March 2024 Examination Series prepared by Orishage Matthew. You are expected to answer 40 questions for a total of 40 marks. This tutorial is prepared to help you nail the concepts. Leave a comment below with the next topic you'd like to see tackled. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more information. The total mark for this paper is 40. Each correct answer will score 1 mark. Any rough working should be done on this question paper. Question 1. A student has a measuring cylinder containing water and also has a balance. Which of these could she use to find the volume of a small metal sphere? She has no other apparatus. Option A, either the measuring cylinder containing water or the balance. Option B, the measuring cylinder containing water only. Option C, the balance only. Option D, neither the measuring cylinder nor the balance. The student can use the measuring cylinder and balance to find the volume of the small metal sphere. How to measure the volume of the sphere? Step 1, measure the initial volume of water. Record the water level in the measuring cylinder. This is the initial volume of water. Step 2, weigh the dry sphere, measure the mass, m, of the metal sphere using the balance. Step 3, submerge the sphere, carefully place the metal sphere completely underwater in the measuring cylinder. The water level will rise. Step 4, measure the final volume of water, record the new water level in the measuring cylinder. This is the final volume of water with the sphere submerged. Step 5, calculate the volume of the sphere. The volume of the metal sphere is equal to the volume of water displaced by the sphere. This displaced volume can be calculated by subtracting the initial volume from the final volume. Question 2. The diagram shows a solid object on a flat surface, with 2 forces acting on the object. 3 Newton force is acting to the left on the block horizontally to the surface, while the second force is a 4 Newton force acting to the right on the block horizontally to the surface. What is the resultant force on the object? Option A, 1 Newton to the left. Option B, 1 Newton to the right. Option C, 7 Newton to the left. Option D, 7 Newton to the right. Take the direction to the right as positive. The resultant force is the difference between the 2 forces. The resultant force is plus 4 Newton minus 3 Newton, which is equal to plus 1 Newton. Plus signs shows the resultant force is acting to the right. The correct answer is option B. Question 3. A ball is falling towards the ground. Which transfer between energy stores is taking place? Option A, elastic energy to kinetic energy. Option B, gravitational potential energy to elastic energy. Option C, gravitational potential energy to kinetic energy. Option D, kinetic energy to gravitational potential energy. Gravitational potential energy, this is the energy stored in an object due to its position in a gravitational field. In this case, the higher the ball is, the greater its gravitational potential energy. Kinetic energy, this is the energy of motion possessed by an object. As the ball falls, it gains speed, and therefore, its kinetic energy increases. As the ball falls, it's not gaining elastic energy, associated with stretching or compressing objects, or converting kinetic energy to gravitational potential energy, which would happen if it were thrown upwards. Instead, the stored gravitational potential energy due to the ball's height is continuously being converted into kinetic energy as the ball gains speed. The correct option is C. Question 4. Which row contains 1 scalar quantity and 1 vector quantity? Option A, energy and velocity. Option B, mass and time. Option C, momentum and weight. Option D, distance and temperature. Review: a vector quantity has both magnitude and direction. Examples given in the above table are velocity, momentum and weight. While scalar quantity has only magnitude or size. Examples given in the above table are energy, mass, time, distance and temperature. Therefore the correct option is A. Question 5. The table gives data about 4 liquids, W, X, Y, and Z. None of the liquids mixes with any of the other liquids. All the liquids are put in the same container and settle to form 4 separate layers. Which statement is correct? Option A, W forms the layer below X. Option B, X forms the top layer. Option C, Y forms the bottom layer. Option D, Z forms the layer below Y. Fact needed: a liquid with lower density will float on a liquid with higher density. Calculate the density of each liquid. Density is calculated by dividing mass by volume. Liquid W has the density of 1 gram per centimeter cube. The density of liquid X is 1.3 gram per centimeter cube. The density of liquid Y is 0.6 gram per centimeter cube. The density of liquid Z is 0.8 gram per centimeter cube. Liquid Y will float on Z. Liquid Z will float on W. Liquid W will float on X. The correct option is D. Question 6. A weightless beam is balanced on a pivot as shown. Forces P, Q and R act on the beam. Which equation is correct? Forces Q and R will make the beam to turn clockwise while force will turn the anti-clockwise. Moment is force multiplied by the perpendicular distance from the pivot. Total anti-clockwise moment is equal to the total clockwise moment. Product of P and D is equal to product of R and A, plus product of Q and B. Rearranging will give. Option D is the correct answer. Question 7. An object is moving at +3 meters per second. A force acts on the object. After a time, the object is moving at -4 meters per second. The mass of the object is 5 kg. What is the change in momentum of the body? Impulse is equal to the difference between final momentum minus initial momentum. Final momentum is equal to product of -4 and 5 to give -20 Newton-second. Initial momentum is equal to product of +3 and 5 to give +15 Newton-second. Impulse is equal to -20 minus +15. Producing -35 kg/meter per second. The correct answer is option A. Question 8. The diagram shows a column of liquid. The pressure, due to the liquid, at the bottom of the liquid is 6,000 Newton per meter square. What is the density of the liquid? Pressure is equal to density multiply acceleration multiply depth. Density is equal pressure divided by product of acceleration and depth. Density is equal 6,000 divided by 4.9. Density is approximately 1,200 kg per cubic meter. The correct answer is option B. Question 9. Which statement correctly describes a change of state? Option A, a gas condenses to form a liquid. Option B, a liquid melts to form a solid. Option C, a solid condenses to form a liquid. Option D, a solid boils to form a gas. A gas condenses to form a liquid. This is the correct option. A solid melts and does not condense. A solid does not boil. It's a liquid that boils. In option B, a liquid melts to form a solid. Melting is the process of a solid changing to a liquid, so this is the opposite of a change of state. In option C, a solid condenses to form a liquid. Condensation refers to a gas changing to a liquid, not a solid. In option D, a solid boils to form a gas. Boiling is a specific type of vaporization that occurs at a particular temperature. A more general term for a solid changing to a gas is sublimation. Therefore, option A describes a true change of state where a gas loses energy and particles move closer together, forming a liquid. Question 10. The diagram shows a pan used for cooking food. Which row is correct for the materials used to make the base of the pan and the handle of the pan? Handle is made with a poor thermal conductor. Base of pan is made of good thermal conductor. Pan handle, we want the handle to stay cool while cooking, so it shouldn't readily conduct heat from the hot pan bottom to your hand. Materials like wood, plastic, or silicone are poor thermal conductors and good choices for handles. Pan base, the base, on the other hand, needs to absorb and distribute heat efficiently to cook the food evenly. Metals like stainless steel, aluminum, or copper are good thermal conductors and suitable for pan bases. So, the correct row would have poor thermal conductor for the handle and good thermal conductor for the base. The correct answer is option B. Question 11. Solar heating panels consist of pipes carrying water that absorb radiation from the sun. Which texture and color is the surface of the pipes so that the temperature of the water rises at the quickest rate? Option A, dull black. Option B, dull white. Option C, shiny black. Option D, shiny white. Dull black surfaces are good absorber of heat. Shiny surface are poor emitter of heater. Solar heating relies on absorption of sunlight. The more sunlight the pipe surface absorbs, the faster the water inside will heat up. Dull black surfaces are the best absorbers of light. They absorb a wider range of wavelengths of sunlight compared to shiny or white surfaces. This maximizes the heat transfer to the water. Shiny surfaces tend to reflect light, reducing the amount of solar energy absorbed. White surfaces reflect most of the sunlight, making them poor choices for solar heat absorption. Therefore, dull black pipes will lead to the quickest rise in water temperature within the solar heating panels. The correct answer is option A. Question 12. When pollen grains in water are viewed through a microscope, they are seen to be in continuous, rapid, random motion. What causes a pollen grain to move in this way? Option A, convection currents in the water. Option B, bombardment by a single molecule of water. Option C, uneven bombardment on different sides by water molecules. Option D, collision with another pollen grain. Random motion of the pollen grain is due to the even collision with molecules of water from different sides. Option C is the correct answer. This phenomenon is called Brownian motion. It describes the random, erratic movement of microscopic particles suspended in a fluid, like water, due to the constant bombardment by the surrounding molecules of the fluid. Let reason why the other options are wrong. Option A, convection currents. While water movement can occur due to temperature differences, convection currents, Brownian motion happens even in still water. Option B, bombardment by a single molecule of water. Water molecules are very small, and the bombardment wouldn't cause such rapid and continuous movement. Option D, collision with another pollen grain. Collisions can happen, but they wouldn't be the primary reason for the constant, rapid movement observed. Brownian motion is a continuous process due to the constant bombardment by countless water molecules. Question 13. A circular, flat-bottomed dish contains 100 cm³ of water. Students are asked how to increase the rate at which the water evaporates. Their suggestions are listed. Student 1, pour the water into a flat-bottomed dish of larger diameter. Student 2, cool the dish and water. Student 3, create a current of air over the dish with a fan. Which suggestions will increase the rate of evaporation? Option A, 1, 2, and 3. Option B, 1 and 2 only. Option C, 1 and 3 only. Option D, 2 and 3 only. Students 1 and 3 are correct. Option C is correct. The suggestions that will increase the rate of evaporation are: Student 1, pour the water into a flat-bottomed dish of larger diameter. This increases the surface area of the water exposed to the air, allowing for more water molecules to escape into the vapor phase. Student 3, create a current of air over the dish with a fan. This increases the movement of air molecules around the water surface. As water molecules evaporate, they accumulate in the air near the surface. Moving air removes these water vapor molecules, allowing for more to evaporate from the liquid water. Therefore, option C, 1 and 3 only, is the correct answer. Question 14. Matter consists of very small particles in a continual state of motion. Which row describes the behavior of particles in a liquid? In terms of the force between particles and the motion of particles. Let review the behavior of particle in a liquid. Force between particles is moderate. The forces between particles in a liquid are stronger than those in a gas but weaker than those in a solid. This allows the particles to move around but not completely break free. Motion of particles is random and continuous. The particles in a liquid are constantly moving in random directions, bouncing off each other and the walls of their container. Therefore, the correct row would describe the forces as moderately strong and the motion as vibration but changes direction. The correct option is B. Question 15. The diagram shows the equipment used in an experiment on the heating of aluminium. The table gives the results for the experiment. The specific heat capacity of aluminium is 900 joules per kilogram degree Celsius. What is the maximum possible temperature rise in the block? Heat supplied by heater is equal to heat gained by aluminium block. Power supplied by heater is the product of voltage, current and time, which is equal to 12 volts times 5 amperes times 300 seconds to give 18,000 joules. Heat gained by block is equal to product of mass, specific heat capacity and temperature rise. Heat gained is equal to 0.8 times 900 times delta T, which is equal to 720 T. Since heat supplied is equal to heat gained, 18,000 joules is equal to 720 T. Delta T is equal 18,000 joules divided by 720 to give 25 degrees Celsius. The correct option is C. Question 16. The diagram shows a wave. Which dimensions describe the properties of the wave? Two properties of the wave can be obtained from the diagram. Wavelength is the distance successive point in the wave form. Wavelength, lambda. This is the horizontal distance between two identical points in a wave cycle. Wavelength is typically measured in meters, m, or other units of length. The wavelength is the distance between two consecutive peaks, crests, or two consecutive dips, troughs, of the wave. Q is the wavelength of this wave. Amplitude, A. This is the maximum displacement of a point in the medium from its rest position. In simpler terms, it's the height, for up and down waves, or distance, for side-to-side waves, from the middle, equilibrium, position of the wave to its peak, crest, or trough. Amplitude is also measured in meters, m, or other units of length. R is amplitude of this wave. The correct answer is option C. Question 17. Which row describes some characteristics of an image formed in a plane mirror? Option A, real diminished. Option B, real same size as the object. Option C, virtual diminished. Option D, virtual same size as the object. In terms of image type and image size. Let review properties of images formed by plane mirrors. 1. Same distance behind the mirror. The distance of the image from the plane mirror is the same as the distance of the object in front of the mirror. 2. Virtual. The image formed by a plane mirror is virtual, meaning the light rays don't actually come together at the location of the image. 3. Same size. the image formed by a plane mirror has the same size as the object. 4. Laterally inverted, the image formed by a plane mirror is laterally inverted, meaning it's flipped left to right. 5. Erect, the image formed by a plane mirror is erect, meaning it's not upside down. The correct option is D. Question 18. The range of audible frequencies for elephants is 10 Hz to 12,000 Hz, and for horses is 55 Hz to 33,000 Hz. Which statement about the range of audible frequencies for a healthy human ear is correct? Option A, the human ear can hear all sounds heard by both elephants and horses. Option B, the human ear can hear all sounds heard by elephants but not all those heard by horses. Option C, the human ear can hear all sounds heard by horses but not all those heard by elephants. Option D, the human ear cannot hear all sounds heard by elephants nor those heard by horses. The answer is D. The human ear cannot hear all sounds heard by elephants nor those heard by horses. Why other options are not correct? Option A, not all, both elephants and horses can hear sounds outside the human audible range. Option B, not all, horses can hear higher frequencies than humans can't. Option C, not all, elephants can hear lower frequencies than humans can't. The typical range of audible frequencies for a healthy human ear is from around 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz. This means humans can't hear sounds below 20 Hz, infrasonic, or above 20 kHz, ultrasonic, that both elephants and horses partially can. Question 19. An object is placed in front of a plane mirror. The ray diagram shows the reflection of one ray of light from the object by the mirror. Where does the mirror form an image of the object? Let's review the ray diagram of image formed by plane mirror and 5 properties of the image. Properties of images formed by plane mirrors. Property 1, the image is same distance behind the mirror as the object in front of the mirror. Property 2, the image is virtual. Property 3, the image is same size. Property 4, the image is laterally inverted. Property 5, the image is erect. Option A is the correct diagram. The image is the same distance from the mirror and it is virtual. Question 20. Light refracts as it enters glass from air, as shown. Which expression is equal to the refractive index of glass? The refractive index is the ratio of the sine of the angle of incidence to the sine of the angle of refraction. Angle of incidence is measured from the normal. The angle of incidence is 90 minus angle theta 1 in the air. The angle of refraction is angle theta 2 in the glass. The correct option is C. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Feeling confident? Subscribe for more exam-busting physics and math tutorials coming soon. Aced your exam? Smash that like button and subscribe for more super easy physics and mathematics tutorials.